Welcome back to Sustainable Sewing. I'm Ariana. Today we're going to be continuing how to sew a tote bag. Today's lesson is sewing the bag. Before we get started, I would just like to thank the Sharon Public Library's Sewing Threads of Diversity grant for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. Now that the sides and the bottom of the exterior fabric pieces are pinned together, go ahead and sew them using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. The seam allowance is how far into the fabric from the edge that your stitch will be sewn. Don't forget to backstitch when you start your seam and backstitch when you finish your seam. You may now remove the pins from your exterior fabric. Don't forget to iron the seams flat on the sides and the bottom of the fabric. Stitch the side seams and the bottom of the lining pieces together, leaving the top open. Use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. As always, don't forget to backstitch when you start and finish your seam. You may now remove the pins from your lining fabric. Iron the seams flat. In order for the tote bag to have a flat bottom, you are going to create box corners on the exterior and lining. To do this, grab the bottom corner of the bag and fold it so that you create a triangle in the corner. If you match up the side seams and the bottom seam, it does help to create the box corners. Now mark a line 1.5 inches from the corner with chalk or a washable marker. Use your beveled ruler to ensure that the measurements are correct and to draw a straight line. Once you've marked a line in chalk or washable marker, take your pins to pin and secure the corner down. Make sure to do this on both corners of the exterior piece and on both corners of the lining piece. You will then sew a seam along the marked line on both bottom corner pieces of the exterior bag and both bottom corner pieces of the lining. Make sure to backstitch when you start and finish your seam. Remove your pins and then snip off the tip and leave a 1/4 inch seam allowance on all 4 corners. This concludes our sewing the bag portion of our How to Sew a Tote Bag lesson. Thank you so much for sewing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.